listening once again. Welcome forward to Reasonings right here at the Trail Life. I'm your host, The Great Out, in the presence of my co-host, Brother Ramon Singh. Perfect love. Perfect love. Yes, so we are up at the little church in Garden Town, Penfield, and for a good while we weren't able to meet here because, you know, like, let's just say way back in 2020 we had lost a part of the road and it wasn't repaired till almost 2021, a year later. It was 11 months later before it was completely restored, and so vehicles couldn't, you know, forward up. And so after that, within that same time, a bridge was put in here, and so Brother Singh was able to drive all the way up to the little church here. And you know, the river where people hang out is pretty close by, so on a day like this we're here forwarding through faith and also continuing through our faith-based understanding, overstanding, and life, I would call livity. And so we've been examining the attributes of love in our videos for 2022 in the Western calendar. And we've been doing quite a lot of the attributes on the positive. We started out and we're listening them according to how they're listed in the Bible. And so we're at the point where we're going through some of the negative truths, the do nots, the things that love is not, the characteristics, the principles, the behaviors that are not loving, the things that do not lead to love. We're examining them, and so now we're at the point where love isn't resentful is our next offering. And as we're going to look at resentfulness, if we even want to define it, is a sense of being offended by what happens to other people, whether it could be reward or just their place or their position in life, or just the gifts and the attributes that they've been given. Resentful is just being offended, just feeling, you know, so upset within yourself, or just feeling a little bit of envy or jealousy. There's little touches of it within resentfulness where people feel like you do not belong. They feel that, you know, how is it that God is blessing you? When I've been a Christian all my life and I go to church, I don't even smoke marijuana. I don't even do these things. I got these guys, and you know something, and they come with a lot of statements like, you know, it's false spirits and it's this and it's that, and so they take on offense to us having a similitude of the spirit of the living who are given life to all and has no judgment. So that behavior and that characteristic of resentfulness is not even a characteristic of the Logos. It's not even a characteristics, hallelujah, of Emmanuel. It's not even a characteristic of Yeshua of Christ. It's not. And a lot of people display it, and we feel it a lot of times where people are just resentful that good things are happening to others. Things that they said could not happen in a positive sense of happen. Things that they said others could not have overcome, others have overcome. And they feel resentful. They feel a sense of rejection. And they're rejecting you because of this. Brother Singh.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Because we don't want to define it again for you, because it's love is not resentful. So the dictionary would have said feeling or expressing bitterness or indignation at having been treated unfairly. You see me? Bitter. You know, feeling or expressing bitterness. You feel it or express bitterness.
Yes.
You know? And our indignation.
Yes.
You see me? At having been treated unfairly.
Deeply angered, as I was saying.
You
Because
see
of
me?
rejection.
Resentful, because it look like somebody who really should have deserved something. You know? Whether recognition or whatever, you know? Somebody, them feel treated unfairly. So because of that now, them treat me bad. You know? Indignation, bitterness, you know? Feeling bitter, speaking bitter. Indignation. Because what you right, them wrong, how them treat you so bad. And then it just, you know, you meet somebody, the first thing they will tell you about is the situation that them resentful of.
Yes.
You see me? Them feel bitter.
Yes. Yes.
You know, them not talk nothing good out of them mouth. All them a talk about is that resentful situation. You see me? And love no do that. Love no deal with resentment. You see me?
So, as I was saying, brother, in terms of many Christians, the people who go by the faith structure, in terms of the stuff, they have gifts of discernment, are just the gifts of God. A lot of times, they expect that there should be a certain reverence and a respect towards them. They've been ministering to the souls of the weary and the disenfranchised of the faith for years. They've been going in the highways and the byways. They see people like us on the network of YouTube. Beard, locks, fitting in the ethnographic sense of an image that is Rasta to them. One that a lot of times religiously they have offense to, because they see the Rasta life, though we are rooted in the Bible, as not being the Christian life. And so many times now, they have this feeling like, what are those people talking about? And then they hear we're talking about Christ. And then they say, I must Selassie them talk about. And then them hear it's Yod He Vav He, Yeshua Mashiach we're talking about. And then them say, I must be somebody else. And then we tell them, Jesus Christ. And then them say, it's must. And then they realize that they're Christians on our channel. They realize that there are several born-again believers listening, subscribed, and every day on our channel. And they have their networks too. They are there doing the work. They've been doing it since we were children. But they do not have a channel as we do. They do not have as much followers as we do. Brother, I've felt this energy of resentment, I'm telling you, from people. They have made comments on our channel. You might not pay attention to it, but I have paid attention to it. And so that is resentment. Resentment because they're saying, who is this dreadlocks Rasta coming talking about Christ? I have been a Christian all of my life. They are not of God. They are there making accusations because the accolades and praises aren't coming to them. And I'm not challenging whether or not they are inspired. I have no question of challenging their inspiration, whether they are serving God. I'm saying they're acting resentful. And I'm feeling it. They're acting resentful. And some people are resentful of other people's gifts as well, too, Brother Singh. So it doesn't have to be that they felt that there's somebody has wronged them. Many times, I'm telling you this, people say to me and say to others, and I've heard it, I am too much because a person's mental faculty which you do not possess. I do not know of your mastery and how you come about doing what you do at the eye level that you do it. But you're going to judge me based upon my mental faculties and my ability to explain something and saying to me that I'm too verbose or I'm too pedantic when you do not understand my process of thought, being resentful of my gift of God, comparing me to you and yourself to me. And that is not proper. That is resentful behavior. So when you see an audience around me and I'm speaking and you do not like my eloquence, you are resentful of my eloquence. And no one is saying that you are not speaking the truth. And you're not even saying I'm not speaking the truth. You're seeking fault with me because I'm eloquent. And my eloquence means that people respond to my eloquence. And people aren't responding to your eloquence or your lack thereof or your charms, though we are both speaking about the same issue. But my nature of eloquence brings attention. The sister in the back, who also has the gift of discernment, the way she approaches Brother Singh and whispers in his ear the message of God that she's been given to tell him, or the warning, makes her resonate with light. When you go up on the podium and you are saying, I get a message this morning, and you make a spectacle and you make an event out of your gift, and you are not rewarded because you have made a spectacle, and someone who you do not regard should get the accolades or the praise, she's being rewarded. He's being rewarded. The light is upon him. And while you are speaking the truth, bitterness is growing in your heart because you feel that that light should be on you. That is a clear definition of resentful. And I've felt it from several people since I started doing this channel. people in my circles, people that we've known for a long time, right? And I've seen comments of people alluding to that very same thing under the comments, Brother Singh.
Yes, so that man we can really make situations where we get treated unfairly upset with. So we get resentful and bitter in the heart and, you know, indignation. You see me? Because what? You right, you know. Them treat you wrong for true. But I want you hold in the heart, man. Certain things you just have to just let go and just make peace at it. You know? Because enough things happen to the prophets, you know. But you don't see me have up nobody. I know you might do the work of the Most High. You see me? So we just walk with love and the faith, righteousness, and just leave certain thoughts alone.
It's strong. It's strongest in our age. Because we have an age of culture where we talk about dominance. They put 1, 2 and a group up to lead the mass. Again, many times the most brilliant seer, thinker, speaker, public official, practitioner, educator, builder is in the group that is being led by the minority. So they are in the mass, being led by the minority. They are most competent. And yes, they did take your ideas, your concept, your design, theories, and outlines, and drawings, and claim that they were their own. They used it to advance themselves, to build up their careers, their companies, their institution. They built off of your strength, your intellect, your power, and your anointing. But here the thing is now, what he's saying, the resentment and the bitterness comes in when you cannot let it go. When you so attach yourself to the attributes that you've been given, whether your talents, your gifts, your eloquence, your beauty, you know, your astonishing physique, right? Whatever it is, when you're so attached to that, that you think your worth is connected to that, then you will get bitter, you'll get resentful. Yes, they stole your ideas, but you'll have more ideas. Yes, they took your famous piece, your creative work, and she stole it from you. Don't write, you were preparing for the pageant, and this girl's glimpsed you in rehearsal and preparation and stole your old presentation, right? Yes. And she went out there and quoted down to the very line, down to verbatim, because she knew she was going to come on before you. And if you were going to come on after, then it would like you were copying her. Yes. But guess what? You're creative. You're smart. She hurt you. She made you cry. But go into your inner, deeper self. Bring out more loving. Bring out your creativity. Think on your feet. Yeah? Don't take it to heart and get bitter over it. Because you're going to lose focus in the moment or in the experience. Because you want to retain clarity in the experience. So in that moment, you're going to have to think on your feet and let it go. Just shake it off. Shake it off. And let it go. Let it go and don't internalize it. Because if you internalize it, that's when it's going to stay with you. And the bitterness is going to boil over into bile. And that is when now, everywhere you go, from that moment forward, they're going to put a little tag on you that you are the angry poet, the angry singer, the angry model, the entitled one, the one that thinks she's better than everyone else. Because you've been hurt, you've been wronged, you've been robbed. But think about the reality of life. All of us at one time had been a winner or a loser. Or we've been wronged or we've wronged someone. There are degrees to it. Some will always claim purity by saying, I never wronged you like you wronged me. But a wrong is a wrong is a wrong. But we're not saying that because somebody's a murderer, right? That we are to say, oh, a murderer who murdered someone is the same as somebody who just, might have told a little lie. And the lie was just to save themselves. And it was no violent intent. But at the same time, sin is sin. And it might be a lie, but it contravenes the law. So at the same time, people will hurt you and you will hurt people. Yeah, you didn't physically punch her in the face, but you told a lie on her, right? Or you might have told the truth, but in a way that you know it would embarrass her. So, yeah, it shows up a jealousy. It shows up a resentment. Why did you bring up her fault in the moment where people are thanking her? People are saying, well, Meredith, or Elaine, or Jane did this, and you're saying, but Meredith did this to me, or Elaine did this to me, and Jane did this to me. Why at that moment? right? It's just a little resentful, and we all did it. We all have done it, but it's to check our behavior, brother says.
Yeah, man, because I really think one, as we are decode this love series for real, and I get into the different sections of it, man, me I learn so much personally, you know?
Up.
Like certain things what we never I really think about before. Now it is at my front of my head now, you know? I know say if certain thoughts and certain actions happen, I know the remedy. I know when I go wrong, you know? Some people do things and don't know say are the wrong thing.
True that, brother.
As we say, we perish for a lack of knowledge. So we just are increasing our knowledge. Iron sharpen iron.
Yes.
You know, get stronger and stronger, sharper and sharper. You see me?
Because no true friend is there, our true brother, our true sister, our mother, our father, who do not like to sharpen the countenance of their fellow, or to see the radiance risen in their fellow brother or sister, or human being. So to resent is to create too much comparison, too much of a comparative analysis, where either you are better or they are better, and if even they're worse than you in outcomes or behaviors, and then people give them, you know, just attention, even though you know that, like you say, morally they are the wrong people. Like, let's talk about role models, brother Singh. And this is something I've heard others talk about, and I have talked about this. I'm not going to play hypocrite. I've talked about the wrong role models, right? Majesty. I've talked about wrong role models, right? And talking about wrong role models, you know that I have said, like, people emulate a certain person, and you're saying, why are they following that person? Because we in ourselves feel like that person shouldn't be a person I should be following. And we resent them because we're like, that person doesn't represent anything that we would think is something good. But people are seeing traits in that person that we might not respect. And so we talk about it and we resent it. Because I'm not going to tell like I don't resent it. I resent it because I'm saying, I am representing something beautiful and valuable, but you rather rate a person that you know is like with a Barnabas and Christ. It's like the same as a rebel and them man they mash up people and beat up people, but a piece of love me I do, they never want to listen to me. You don't even give me the courtesy, so I'm like, I should deserve the attention. Why you listen to the person where you don't give him attention, good punch in the face, and you're gonna put him up. But sometimes they recognize something in that person that maybe you are not. And that bitterness and resentfulness is making you also probably not see that in that person as well. So I could be wrong, but it's a possibility that I could also be correct in that as well too, that maybe something that we're not seeing because we are a little too resentful. Could you consider that? Brother?
Yes, sorry. And these things psychiatrists deal with people, you know, because it's a traumatic experience. That experience changed them life. Because of that, them become bitter, you know, a lot of anger, hatred, a sense of treated unfairly, you know. So the mentality is of bitterness. You would call it even the spirit of bitterness.
True.
You see me?
Sure.
And those people end up hurting themselves, even taking their lives.
True.
You see, because of the traumatic experience. So the psychiatrists now try make them understand the experience and say this is what you went through, okay? And because of this experience, that is why you're acting like this. And then the person ever say, oh, you know, so the Bible, God, and him with psychiatrists, you know.
Yes.
And him with psychologists.
Yes.
And him with mentor.
Yes.
And him take we out of depression.
Yes.
And him teach we about love.
He means love.
God is love.
Yes.
You see me?
Hey.
And to become godly, these are the attributes of God. You see me?
You know, as you say, the psychiatrical analysis of people going through resentful behaviors There's codified thoughts around groupings of behavior. So you have people that are obsessive and compulsive. You have some people that are psychopathic and sociopathic. So you have a lot of sociopathic people who will be very vindictive and manipulative, come around you as friends through narcissistic and narcissistic behaviors and tendencies, making you feel that they're compassionate and loving, but they harbor deep resentment about the treatment that you're getting, the appreciation that others have for you. And some people literally become violent because of set compulsive and obsessive behaviors, right? In those sociopathic behaviors, some people literally murder people that they so-called are obsessed with, that they admire. A lot of fans are, that fan fanatical, fan means fanatic, meaning aberrated, uncontrolled euphoria, uncontrolled enthusiasm. That's fanatic, that's where a fan is from. So I say I'm a fan of so-and-so, means that you're out of control. So because of this out of control behavior in its psychosis, right? Let's examine it in its neurosis. It's an admiration of a certain person, and then it becomes neurotic. And when it becomes neurotic, right, and it sets into a pattern, and the pattern becomes the psychosis behavior. And so that behavior now becomes destructive. And a person might plot and scheme to hurt you, but at first they will appear as if they love you and appreciate you, and they feel like they are bonded with you. But the bond that they feel with you is trying to absorb from you the traits and the personality, the things that they think are making you admirable, are making you love. And so to abstract that, and sometimes lock you in a basement, kidnap you, drug you, you understand me? Do all manner of things. They have a board in their house of your images, of moments that you didn't even know that you were being observed. So the obsessive and compulsive behaviors, as you mentioned, psychiatry, and I'm sorry to go into my whole professional sense, but it does come up because of resentment. And it means that a lot of people are being stalked by, let's use the women, because I guess women love, you know, the idea of looking sometimes at a lot of things that happen to them as being stalked. But actually they have a resentful and compulsive behavior to want to get the attention of people, to the point where they put themselves at risk at times. You understand me? Because they put themselves in company and at places which brings out their vulnerability and sets them in a sense of power, because they feel that they have the right to tempt dangerous characters. And so you call them psychopathic, you call them psychos, right? And they hang around with unstable people, men who are mentally unstable, to generate behaviors and to create outcomes that make themselves seem a victim, because they resent a lot of times the power of the male phallus. They play victim a lot. Resentful behavior, because a man, according to a lot of these women with this behavior, are too free. Men are given freedom and they are shackled. So they resent the fact that they have been going to these Ivy League institutions and you just came up, as they call it, a two-bit quack, and you have people running behind you. You're garnering respect without deserving it. And so their narcissistic tendencies are manifesting in women who believe by just being women, they deserve more attention, more respect than you. They deserve to be given the lion's share of benefit. Psychotic tendencies that ends up in resentful behaviors, bitter behaviors. You're angry at you. You're black. Racism is from that too. You're black. You're from a country where the people are monkeys and animals. Why are you so clear? Why are you so eloquent? I know this guy has been doing Masters of Philosophy for 13 years. He doesn't even speak like you guys. He's not even half as clear on the stuff or lucid on the stuff. Resentment. I have an institute on higher philosophy, and you're going to tell me about God is your psychiatrist? I have 4 degrees on psychiatry. And my medical practice is renowned, and you're going to tell me God is your psychiatrist, the Bible and the Word of God is your therapist. Resentful, the group of dreadlocks on a corner, is going to teach high virtue. But the highness of virtue comes through application from the Word of God. And you don't have to read it there, you just have to learn and come from a place of love. You don't have to have it in the book, because if you were very kind of spirit, respectful and responsible and deferent, you wouldn't be comparing yourself. You wouldn't be thinking that you deserve more attention than that person. You wouldn't be thinking you are more spiritual and hence the one that should be revered and respect. And so these things show up resentfulness and bitterness. Because if you think you deserve it and you're not getting it over a long period of time, you say, little babe, come, a babe shall lead the way, a child shall lead the way. Oh my God, great, how you've been talking this for 20 years. A 15-year-old just come now. Don't you see the following? Like they were trying to create an enmity between John the Harbinger and Emmanuel by saying, John, you are the one that was washing, aka baptizing. And now, here is Yeshua now, Jesus, according to English language, up there now, baptizing by the Jordan River. John had to rebuke them and said, I am the forerunner to his ministry. I am the forerunner to his ministry. Don't create no resentment. I am not worthy to unloose his bootstraps. Because blessings, yes. Peter, because he has humility. He's not resentful of the work of God. So it doesn't matter if you are the high priest and I am the second in command. It doesn't matter if I'm cleaning the floors and you are having the sermon. Because I'm not resentful of you. There's nothing in me but the growing of salvation through patience and love having its perfect work. So I can get past the comparisons. I can learn to love and forgive and share. What man has done, man can do, like what Marcus Garvey said, to quote Marcus Garvey. So if I see my brother is doing something or my sister, I can be inspired and want to do it too. I don't have to compare myself and feel bad if people are giving them praise and I don't feel I have that ability. Because I have an ability too. I have a gift. I have a talent too. And my one talent, I don't have to hide it and be resentful that you used your 3, 4, 5 talent and became wealthy with it. I don't want to hide my talent, and then when your band and your party is coming with all the goodness and the pomp and the pageantry, I'm shameful, I'm hiding myself, and then I'm resentful of you. No. The one little thing that God give me, I'm going to let it shine. I'm not going to hide my light, because I'm not comparing myself, Brother Singh.
Yes, sir. It's a boy but down to being humble and meek. You know, that is showing true wisdom. You know, not to be bitter when treated unfairly. You know, so when situation arise now, we're going to know what to do. You know? And sometimes we mess up, but at least we have the awareness now to do the right thing. You see me? And just to practice it.
Blessings.
You see me? Because as we say, knowledge is knowing. So we know the thing now. Wisdom is practicing it. You know? So we make sure we practice these things.
They say make perfect. Or nowadays they're re-engineering that statement and say practice make permanence.
True.
It becomes a unyielding, unchanging habit. I guess that's what you call righteousness. You always say, if you keep doing the right things, that is what righteousness is. It's like putting the right things into practice, the right theories, thoughts, ideas, and put it on next way. You put the Spirit of the Most High God into your life, into your heart, and all of these attributes will start come up. And when people see these attributes manifest in you, they look upon you and say that it's a loving character and a loving nature. And they'll glorify your source, your creator, Yod He Vav He, Yeshua Mashiach, because in Yahasha is the Spirit, and the Spirit is the principle and the love, the life force, the light of your being, which is colorless, odorless, and can be absorbed by odorless, ageless, genderless, colorless, odorless, ageless, and genderless, right? That's a true spirit, neither male, female, bond, nor servant, nor master. That's the true Spirit of God. And when that comes into you, We wouldn't have to compare. And it's just love right there. That's love I should say. We just one. The fingertip, no better than the elbow. The top of the head, no better than the bottom of the feet. You see?
Yes, sir.
So any closing statements, words while we move forward, brother, in faith on this series?
Yeah, you see me little one, I don't know a perfect love. You
Well,
see me?
that's it, yeah. The man said perfect love. So until next time, this has been The Great Out and my co-host, brother Ramon Singh. Perfect love. The reasonings right here at the Tree of Life. Continue to like, share, subscribe to the Tree of Life Experience. Grow in the attributes of love in the spirit of the Most High God.
Blessings.
Blessings. A patient love is the one who shows concern. A faithful love is the one who shows concern. You gotta live your life unlearned. A faithful love is the one who shows concern. A patient love is the one who shows concern. You got to live your life and learn.